Do you think we're going to get in trouble for saying Coca-Cola so much?
No, a company would never sue someone.
It should hear from. Okay, we'll just put this message at the top. This podcast is not sponsored by Coca-Cola, McDonald's, or its affiliates.
The opinions expressed herein are ours alone and do not reflect nor suggest anything about the ethics and beliefs of the Coca-Cola, McDonald's, or Burger King corporations.
No, we are sponsored by Burger King.
Oh yeah, everything we say reflects on Burger King as a corporation. So as we were saying, Burger King, they're kind of traitorous bitches.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to the podcast where we watch a movie and dare to ask the question, what happens next? We are three unpaid interns who have been locked away in a basement somewhere in Hollywood and forced to churn out sequels to movies that nobody asked for. So grab some popcorn and your hard hat to join us on the ground floor of Sequel Factory. I am Roger.
I am Jett.
And I'm X.
This show is based on a true story, actually.
Oh yeah? Which story would that be?
Yeah. This one.
So it's based on its own story?
Yeah.
Huh.
All of them are, actually.
Yeah, we went over this last time, except in reverse.
I was going to say, did we?
Yeah, last time
Check
we
out the last
movies.
episode to find out.
Yeah, we went on a whole rant. We'll see if it lines up or not. This week we watched Mac and Me, the 1988 family sci-fi film that I didn't know existed.
I would have rather been eating mac and cheese, because this was a stinker.
You didn't write that down, did you?
No.
Okay.
Off the dome. That's what I bring to the show.
Good.
So here, let me try to give this a better introduction. I got Wikipedia pulled up here.
Oh, God.
Mac and Me.
Hell yeah!
It's a 1988 American sci-fi fiction film directed by Stuart Raffel.
What?
Who...
My God!
Known from movies such as Mannequin 2 and...
That one was great!
Another one. And he also wrote the family-friendly Passenger 57.
Oh, classic.
So, unique filmography there. It's starring Christine Ebersole, Jonathan Ward, and Tina Caspary.
They're so good. Oscar-worthy.
It's about an alien who escapes nefarious NASA agents and befriends the boy, Eric, a wheelchair-bound boy with a heart of gold. I was going to try to insert a joke here about how his acting was not great. But then I had to look up to make sure that he wasn't actually a paraplegic boy.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was.
He has spina bifida, so...
Yeah, so I cut the joke.
Representation.
And I'm reading from Wikipedia now. So, yeah, this movie, if you didn't know, it performed poorly at the box office, was universally panned by critics, mostly because of how much of a blatant ripoff it was of E.T. and all of the product placement and stuff. And then it was also nominated for 4 Golden Raspberry Awards, and it won for Worst Director and Worst New Star for Ronald McDonald.
It's so funny. During the movie, I like to write notes, just like a step-by-step, like what happens scene to scene.
Regular Roger Ebert over here.
And there's a point where, what did I write down? Where is it? So I'll start here. Eric and Debbie have to go to a party and disguise the alien as a teddy bear. Dance party from McDonald's and dance party in the McDonald's parking lot. Ronald fucking McDonald? Or no, sorry, I actually read that wrong. It's Ronald McFucking Donald. There it is.
Thank you. Ronald McDonald was his father's name. I have that written in my notes. I don't know. Maybe this is an idea for a plot point for the next movie. Maybe it was just I was not present as I wrote sort of like divination style. The McDonald's dance party, ... with Ronald and everything, ... Ronald McDonald, the true enemy of the state, ?
Oh, okay.
See, I did something a little different, and I don't want to sit here and condone using AI Well, yeah, McDonald's,
sure.
but using AI to kind of create in this industry and whatnot. But I did want to test the popular DeepSeek right now to see if it could give me an accurate summary of.
It is quite popular.
Of Mac and Me.
Monster.
And this is what it gave
Real
me.
Ronald McDonald behavior of you, but go ahead.
Yeah, this is what it gave me. Mac and Me is a family sci-fi film about a young boy named Eric who befriends a friendly alien creature called Mac, aka Mysterious Alien Creature. After Mac's spaceship crash lands on Earth, which is inaccurate because he did not have a spaceship.
No.
Eric helps him reunite with his family while evading government agents. This movie features themes of friendship and acceptance, along with humorous and heartwarming moments. Notably, it includes a memorable dance scene at a McDonald's restaurant. And then it adds a little bit more in there. But so I decided to see if it could give me an idea for a sequel, right? I asked it to pitch me an idea for a sequel. And the idea is boring as all hell. So I'm not going to read it. But I am going to read this little part that it did include in here, which is... where is it? The sequel blends heartwarming family moments, thrilling space adventures, and a renewed emphasis on environmental themes, with a nostalgic nod to the original film, including another iconic dance scene, this time in Zero Gravity.
Okay. We can integrate that somehow.
Well, I don't want to give credit to AI, so now we can't.
No, it's,
now we
those
can't.
ideas are out of the window.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps a dance scene in extra gravity. They're struggling.
Yeah,
they're
too much
sweating,
gravity.
Their calves are bulging.
Yeah.
We don't know what the gravity was like on Mac's original planet. That's why they walk weird, right? Or at least we could say.
True.
Yeah.
True.
What's so funny about the walk cycle of each of those aliens is that no one communicated between them, right? Like the dad kind of had his own thing going on the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, so when it showed the family, I could not tell. I could not tell if it was just really bad costumes or if the aliens were wearing clothes.
Sometimes they were. Sometimes they had like rags on them. But I think
No, that was not rags. That was the skin of other aliens they've slain.
Oh, is this a violent race of aliens you've decided?
Possibly.
Well, we know that like their reproductive cycle involves like plucking children from the ground, if I caught that correctly at 2x speed.
Plucking children from the... No.
I have no idea.
No, they're just drinking water through a straw.
Don't say
Yes.
water. Let's not suggest that it was water.
You know what? No, that's exactly what I thought when I was first watching it. But now that I'm thinking about it, they refuse to drink water on Earth. So maybe this entire planet is made of freaking Coca-Cola.
Yeah, okay, so again, in my notes...
Because that's apparently what literally gives them life at the end of the movie.
Uh-huh. So there's a point in the movie, for you dear listeners, where we are all left to assume that Mac finds his family finally, and they're all dead.
They're all dead. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, eyes open, limp body, dead.
They've been wandering the deserts of Los Angeles where there's no
Sacramento.
possible way to reach life or civilization, while Mac has just been having terrible Gumby-esque adventures.
Mm-hmm. Coca-Cola after Coca-Cola, and I'll tell you what, like, Coca-Cola, the company, and McDonald's, like, produced
Skittles.
this movie, right? They backed the whole thing. So I don't really mind that much that a lot of it was, like, forced advertisements. But the fact that the family was brought back to life via soda tells me that the liquid that the father is sucking from the ground on their home planet is some kind of sugary beverage.
I'm just going to go Coca-Cola. Sugar. There's a whole planet made of Coca-Cola.
Get it? Like
Men in Black, you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah,
no, we got that.
Man, that's funny.
reference.
So
That
funny.
movie. Oh,
You know what?
wow.
You know what I was thinking about? You know what this podcast doesn't have enough of, and I think we might be able to kind of push it this way.
Oracles?
What did you say?
Is it oracles?
Oh,
Impressions
Oh, no,
of
wait.
iconic characters from
there
cinema?
are already 4 movies for the Men in Black series. Never mind.
no, I was gonna say conflict. I think I think we're too nice to each other.
Go to hell, Roger.
Yeah, your ideas suck. We don't need to be mean to each other. So we're going to scrap that idea, live in this new universe created by that idea, and continue to be nice to each other.
Copy that.
Set me up, Roger. Set me up with an idea of yours.
So I was actually thinking, because of the undertones toward the end of the film, we could probably make the sequel more political and really lean into the whole immigration side of things.
I hate that, and I'll kill you.
All right, let's move on.
I love it, and I'll kill Jett.
And
all right,
for the sake of things, I guess I have to kill X for some reason.
And then we all are lying dead in a cave, and children come and revive us with Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. That scene, I knew where they were going. I saw them all just laying there, eyes glazed over, and I was like, holy crap, they're actually going with this. Okay. But I was like, surely they're just going to revive him with Coca-Cola because that's what this little thing's been drinking this whole time.
Surely.
I was more amazed by the fact that he runs to the van and has Coca-Cola in the cooler
ready
at all
Never
times
leave home without it.
in case of this scenario. So that blew my mind. Another thing that blew my mind from this movie, and Jett, you might have some insight into this.
Always.
So as we know, you and Roger... well, as we know, the host of this show, but maybe not the whole audience.
Yeah.
You and Roger met at when you were working at a Sears.
Indeed.
Right? Now tell me,
He was looking for a T-shirt with tentacles on it.
Wow, that you have a great memory.
And we didn't have it in his size, and I looked it up on the computer and ordered one to the store for him. And I remember at the time, I was like, you have a lot of personality. Do you want to be in YouTube videos sometime? And he was like, I have a YouTube channel already.
Yeah.
And we kissed or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, there was some kissing, I think.
Now, Roger, I think you just have a shitty memory. But tell me, Jett. This is the conflict you asked for.
Yeah, we need this. We need this.
You're right. I deserve this.
Tell me, Jett, when you were working at Sears, could you afford a at least 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for your now fractured nuclear family?
Yeah, and I did at the time.
In Sacramento, California.
Yeah.
Oh, not Sacramento.
Okay.
Whatever happened to your
Times have
family?
changed.
Oh, blew up.
Oh, okay. Copy that.
Killed him.
Who did?
Me.
Huh.
Oh.
The lore just
laying
keeps
lore,
building. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that we're going to have to come back to at another point. Now, what blew my mind was that in this movie, it starts with this family driving to Sacramento to move there so the mother can start a new job. My surprise...
Blew the minds of my wife and child?
What?
No, never mind. We'll move on.
God,
Keep going.
you're gonna set up and then
Jesus
break
Christ.
down your own joke.
Nah, it wasn't gonna be good.
We gotta steer away from family annihilation here. But yes, the job that she's moving to Sacramento for is Sears. Right? She's working out of a Sears.
Yeah.
I totally missed that.
Yeah. They drop her off
Oh,
at Sears for her
no.
first day of work.
Yeah, she's like, I wish I could call in sick. Yeah, they drop her off at Sears.
They move to go work at a Sears?
Yeah. In the late 80s, I guess that was a viable option.
Well, we
and
also
they
don't know what she was doing at Sears, like
Okay.
what position she had.
So that's what I was going to say. At one point at the end, during the little NASA agents chasing him, he goes to Sears to show his mom, Mac, and she misses him just by like a second, but she catches the fact that like he's being chased by federal agents. And when we see her, she's talking to a guy, and it kind of looks like he might be management because he's wearing a suit. But I think what she says, and I might have missed this because, again, I was watching it at 1.5
I'll confirm it for
speed.
you. I wrote it down.
She says, should we head over to the laundry section or something like that?
So
I
she
think
actually
she was just a
she actually
salesman.
says, "How long have you been in lingerie?"
Oh.
So, okay, so that
the laundry section.
still confuses me because is she management or is she sales? Either way, it's impressive that she
I
can
don't
afford
know.
this whole house on her own, just working out of a Sears, which is now defunct, by the way.
It was a different economy.
Yeah.
It
Sears,
definitely
they,
was.
They rose to prominence and success through the early 1800s and into the 20th century through innovative inventory systems that allowed them to manage and distribute a far greater variety of goods.
Sorry, Jett, you are confusing this podcast with your other podcast, where you discuss the histories of retail stores.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I was gonna say, did you learn all that in your orientation at Sears?
No, I did my own research. I was committed.
All I learned at my orientation at Macy's was that the founder died on the Titanic. So.
Whoa.
And then I never started that job, and I had to file taxes for the 2 hours I spent in that orientation.
To have died on the Titanic is somewhat of a humble brag. It's like, oh, you were that important? Cool.
Yeah. Whoa!
Wow.
Take it easy. Bro died on the Titanic. Skull emoji.
I'm dead.
All right.
So, while we're saying lines for the movie, my favorite line from the film was, which is, well, I'll touch on that in a second, maybe. There's like a little girl in the movie, and the little girl has an older sister, and there's a little boy, and the little boy has an older brother, and there's a moment where the older sister and the older brother meet, and they're like making eyes at each other, and the little girl pulls her sister away, and then like looks back at the older brother and says, my favorite line read from the movie is, why don't you stop by for a Big Mac?
Right. So you should mention that the older sister, whose name is Courtney, works at McDonald's.
She works at McDonald's and wears that uniform
everywhere.
90% of her scenes. Yeah.
Like, she's always ready. She's on call to head into McDonald's.
Just like Donald insane. Trump.
Oh, that's why it's called Mac and Me.
Yeah.
See, okay. I was wondering.
Okay. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm really glad you brought this up. We're gonna fucking talk about it. At some point in the movie, this little ball sack of a child gets he gets called Mac, and it's not explained why.
Oh no, he does explain. He says Mac,
mysterious alien creature.
Yeah, because at the beginning, the older brother makes a joke. I can't remember what the hell it was. Because the passerby is like, I must have been like an alien or something. And the brother makes an acronym for that. And so later, when he shows his brother the alien, he's like, it's Mac, mysterious alien creature. And then that's it. That's all we get. They don't ever call him Mac again.
That's
I know
so upsetting. Well, that would just mean that the whole family is Macs.
Yeah, they are.
This is Mama Mac and Daddy Mac. Daddy had a gun at one point.
Yes, and he uses it.
Mac do 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 do.
Just like Jett did.
Mac do 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 do.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he's got a gun. The film makes an amazing case for putting police funding into nonviolent social workers trained in de-escalation, because the sort of climax of the film, which is the wildest thing, is after they have, I guess, resurrected the Mac family, and they're like driving around, they end up going into a supermarket where the Mac family kind of escapes and ends up wandering out. And everyone's like, we hate these things. And a security guard comes up, and like these could just be like strange looking people. It's totally
They've
possible
all got alopecia.
It's very, very possible these are just like
disgusting naked humans.
Mm-hmm.
Not the words that I would use.
Well, they were certainly
asshole,
naked,
but
well, their faces
they could just be people.
Resemble it.
And so the security guard of the supermarket with gun, like goes up and is like, "Put the soup down," and like pointing the gun at Daddy Mac. Daddy Mac just walks up and takes the gun and starts waving it around.
Way to say what he did.
Yeah.
And he does take the gun. And here's what I'll say: civilian security is a joke, and like that's a pretty proper depiction of what would have happened. Like, most civilian security is you
observe and report.
Observe and report, exactly. Yeah. If a supermarket security member was given a gun, that thing's not loaded, almost guaranteed.
Daddy Mac takes the gun out of the house as like 7,000 police officers.
Did you say house?
Up.
Out of the guard's hand in the
The
supermarket, yeah.
The big house with all of the vegetables.
The food
and
house, the house where stuff, food comes from.
And I do want to say, Jett said he was picking up soup. It was Coca-Cola. It's always Coca-Cola.
It was a can of Coca-Cola.
Everything in this movie is
Okay.
Coca-Cola. So.
They leave the food house, and Daddy Mac's waving the gun around, and all the cops are like, "Put it down! Put the gun down!" And all the family's like, "No, he doesn't understand." And these cops just start blasting as
what
the
is
wheelchair kid Eric is like going up to try to stop him. They start blasting. They like blow something up with their shotguns. The child explodes in a ball of fire. They all run up. They're gathering up. The mom runs in, and a man runs up and like takes his pulse and is like, "He's gone." About the child. The family is nowhere to be seen. They're consumed in the fireball.
The
they all-
alien family
No,
is what you're
hold on.
referring to.
I
alien
want to
family.
specify. The way this scene plays out is the Macs, I guess, are walking towards the van. This part's across the parking lot, right? These cops are like, stand back. They're walking through the parking lot. They get to the van. I don't know what happens, but Daddy Mac starts the shooting. He turns around, fires the weapon, and then all the cops start shooting back, right? And then
That was actually George Lucas edited the film.
Yeah, Daddy Mac
change
shot
that.
first.
Yes. And then for some reason, I don't know if they run towards the building. I don't remember that. But the Eric, the little wheelchair boy, starts rolling towards the grocery
which is
store.
the appropriate thing to call people in wheelchairs.
The wheelchair boy. Eric the
Well, in the-
wheelchair boy.
In the 80s, it was. Well, I'm sure I'm more politically correct than the people in the 80s probably were. But he starts rolling to the grocery store, and then it blows up. I don't remember the Macs ever going back into the grocery store.
I think they were just outside of it,
They're
right?
just kind of out there, yeah.
Just close enough to the explosion to assume to be dead, and not far enough from the explosion to be, I guess, impacted by the shockwave like Eric was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jett,
So
Roger posted a video of that scene from when he was watching it earlier.
It's in the general
Oh.
chat.
The I hope I'm using the right term here. The rotoscoping they use for this scene of the wheelchair in front
for
of
the
the
superimposed
flames.
wheelchair. Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh my gosh. Just rewatch it real quick because I noticed it.
Yeah,
I noticed
that's
it in
right
the
there.
shower from.
It's just pasted on top of the explosion. That's really good.
It looked good when it was the wide shot, but then for some reason they go in a little closer, and it's.
it's just like the silhouette of a wheelchair, but they forgot some pixels, I guess, when they were
Yeah.
when they
Or
like,
when they
chopped it
were
out.
cutting. Yeah, whenever
made
they
it
were
a
cutting it
PNG.
out of the real film.
After the child's death and the explosions, the film wraps up in the conventional way, which is the aliens
Wait,
walking
hold
through
on.
the flames.
So at this point, they literally say Eric is dead.
He's
right?
dead. Eric died.
There's a doctor there. He runs up. He's like, I'm a doctor. He's dead. 10 minutes
No
left
one's
in the
doing
movie.
chest compressions or
No,
anything.
nothing. He just
No
checked the
attempt.
pulse. But 10 minutes left in the movie. I was like, where the hell is it going to go from here?
The movie wraps up in the conventional way, which is the alien family walks through the flames, untouched by them, shielded by their faith in Jesus Christ our Lord.
Oh,
They all hover above Eric with their hands, begin whistling, I think, and they use their heretofore unestablished magic powers to resurrect the boy. And then they all go to the Capitol and get their American citizenship and drive off in a car.
Drive off in a pink
in
Cadillac.
a pink
Yes.
Cadillac.
That Daddy Mac is driving.
It's just a complete ripoff of E.T. I mean, it ends the same way.
There are subtle differences.
Subtle differences.
I think
'cause,
Steven Spielberg would have a lot to say.
like I sent you guys a message, and originally I was going to do a bit where I just word for word copied the treatment that Steven Spielberg wrote for an E.T. sequel, but that was dependent on the idea that this movie ended with the aliens going home. They don't.
They don't go home.
America is just their new home now.
It has, I will admit, a surprisingly unique opening setup for an Aliens on Earth movie. It is not like they get dropped off in a spaceship or anything like that. They get vacuumed up by a probe exploring another planet.
Yeah.
The probe takes off, lands back on Earth, which, by the way, we are still like a decade out from having a proper sample return mission for Mars.
We don't know if it was Mars.
Completely unreal. But that's the thing, we can't even...
No, I think it was a moon of Saturn.
I
because
see what
there
you're
was
saying.
a big ringed planet at the beginning. But yeah, no, it was insane.
You can't even
because
get to Mars.
At first I was like, oh, decades must have passed. But I'm like, no, that's a modern little fucking rover or whatever. And it's just back on Earth 2 days later. And they're pulling samples and stuff.
Incredibly advanced. I mean, like, it couldn't have been a long journey. This probe would have been moving at like all near hyper light, if not near light speeds, to get back to Earth on time. Seeing as this alien family like were like starving to death from lack of food and dehydration within like 3 days of being on Earth.
Yeah.
They couldn't have been like traveling for
here's the thing.
7-year
Right?
journey.
They
would be
were
required.
traveling from Illinois. Oh wait, or unless we're talking about the ship.
No,
I'm
wait,
talking
hold
about
on.
the ship.
Oh,
That's
okay, sorry.
insane.
Had to
though.
be going so fast.
So where
The
did the aliens
technology.
where did the aliens break out from at the beginning?
Illinois. So the family's from
Illinois.
Chicago.
So what, NASA just has facilities all up and down the Midwest?
Yeah, the famous Illinois.
Oh, you know what?
Chicago, Illinois NASA facility.
The family were in a car, so they could have been traveling from Illinois to
So they
to-
drove all the way down to
California.
like Florida or Houston.
Yeah, they made a quick
and
dip down to Houston.
got involved in like some alien escape and then drove all the way to Sacramento. I guess they were taking the scenic route. So what I want to know though is,
We've got to get to the
this.
sequel.
Yeah, we
Go
will. We
on.
will.
After this, though.
The probe comes back, right? And they're like, wow, these samples look great and everything. Now, did those samples contain Coca-Cola, or is that how the aliens stayed alive over those few days? Did they drain the samples, and now Coca-Cola has no idea that they could save billions by just going and terraforming this planet instead of like
this
hiring
is the
people?
plot of Mac and Me Too.
Okay.
Which I'm just going to throw it out there. Perhaps it's called Mac and Us.
Oh.
Mac and Us is an option.
Mac
I
and
don't
Us
know
should have
what
been the
context
first one.
yet.
Because it wasn't
We
just
can
him
get
and
to
the
that.
alien. It was him and like 5 other people that were helping the alien.
Right.
Let's say in the last... Because, I mean, surely, like, the Mac family, upon achieving, American citizenship, would, as an ally of the United States, would be open about where they come from and the nature of their planet.
If they
So
can
surely they
communicate, I
would, like,
guess.
eventually upon... What, X?
So if they can communicate now, I guess, instead of just
I'm
whistling
sure
all
they
the time.
can figure... Surely they already have language. Like, that you have to...
Yeah,
like,
they had to
you have
pass that
like, answer
citizenship
questions.
test
Yeah.
somehow,
Right.
right?
So by the end of the movie, they already speak probably English.
Or at least read, right? Because you have to pass like a written exam to get your driver's
Yeah.
license. And your citizenship, I guess.
And you got to be able to sing the Constitution or something. I don't know.
Now here's something.
Um,
Instead of the aliens being like, "Hey, this is where we come from," they I think they would know, right? I mean, they came on that probe from whatever planet. But what if the people back home for them are like, "Hey, where'd those guys go?"
Oh yeah, hey,
Like, they
where
just
did the Smiths all
disappeared
end
one
up
day.
going? They went out to the desert to harvest some Coca-Cola, and they are gone now.
And so now they gotta go find them. They're on a rescue mission, not knowing that the Macs have made Earth their new home. They're comfortable. They have all the Coca-Cola they can spend their money on that they have to use now, and they're doing all right. Yeah.
Ooh, good question. Hey, how'd they afford that car?
Huh.
They got
Daddy
jobs at
Mac-
Sears as well.
They all work at Sears.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
At least up until like what,
Literally.
2012 or whenever they went out of business.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jett has 1,000 ideas. So can I just throw out some bad ones?
I have ideas now. I didn't write down any single idea.
Yeah, he watched the movie 20 minutes ago, Roger.
Oh, that's true. Okay, fine.
What do you got?
So earlier, whenever Jett had requested that I set him up, for a joke, and I had mentioned that we could kind of navigate the political climate of letting literal aliens become U.S. citizens, but there's this whole, there's the duality of immigration from someone from another country. Like, imagine being an immigrant who's trying to legally cross into the United States, and they just let these weird butthole mouth aliens join.
It would be worldwide news, wouldn't it?
It would. These would be micro celebrities, if anything.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I don't think from the ending here, they're in a room full, and I imagine this is how the immigration process works anyways. They're in a room full of immigrants. They're getting their citizenship, right?
Yes.
But surely in real life, they would have a private ceremony, no? Unless
or at least, like, they'd be given wigs.
Yeah, or something. I mean, the mom's wearing a hat. I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Do you think they had to do a lot of campaigning to get their marriage recognized?
Well, they are naked
Or
through
their
a majority of
religion.
the film, so like genitalia it does come into question.
Well, the mom was covered up. I'm pretty sure the mom was the only one wearing like rags and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah. So where are you going with this, Roger?
well,
What,
I think
does
he's
it
trying
start
to
a
write
war?
District 9.
I'm just
Yeah.
shit. It's already been done. District 9 is a sequel to Mac and Me.
Oh no!
Wait, but District 9 would kind of imply like some kind of STD that turns other people into Macs,
That's
which we didn't.
It's just Coca-Cola.
true.
Oh.
So what if the Coca-Cola company are aliens from the Max planets, and they came to Earth decades upon decades ago, bringing Coca-Cola with them, because they are Coca-Cola based life forms. Like, Coca-Cola runs through their veins, not water.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As water runs through our veins.
Yes. And so they bring the Coca-Cola with us as a means of gradually trying to terraform or convert the population of the Earth into more of their kind. Or perhaps cattle.
So
It's taken a long
If we
time.
eat enough Coca-Cola.
you did inspire me in that little speech you gave just then. Is what if the company of Coca-Cola builds their own spacefaring program, and then they start to have a resource war with the planet or moon that these people are from, and it's up to the Mac family to do some corporate sabotage to the Coca-Cola company to stop them from over milking their own planet.
I think we've got to take this. We've got to take this to space.
Yeah.
I think like who's the kid?
Eric.
Eric is an adult now. He's joined the military when he became an adult. He's a Marine. His older brother had
his
been a
legs
Marine.
work now?
Huh? No, they don't.
So the Marines
Which
didn't
makes
give
it
him
difficult.
like
He
an
probably-
exoskeleton or anything?
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, Earth has advanced technology. If they can send a probe,
Hold on,
and,
Jett, are you-
like, bring it back?
Are you literally just...
Don't talk.
He's
So
gonna do
his
Avatar.
older
He's
brother-
gonna do Avatar. I know.
His
it.
older brother
Uh-huh.
had worked for the Coca-Cola Corporation that had begun mining this
God damn it.
home planet of the Max in space. His older brother dies in space. And only Eric can go to space and operate the Mac race body that was created.
He's he's
for his older
gonna
brother
operate the
to
Avatar,
occupy.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could call it that.
Sure.
So Eric goes to space, gets his own like Mac body that he can transfer his mind into, which is great because he can walk now. And he goes down onto the Coca-Cola planet and starts fighting alongside the natives to sort of get rid of this corporate control.
Just for fun, hey, Jett, who would direct this movie?
Who's someone with a really good track record?
Probably someone who can operate a submarine or something.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna need to have. I mean, maybe I don't know if it would be in the first one or if it would
the
be in
sequel
the
might be in like an ocean
third.
full of Coca-Cola or something.
I've
like
written
that.
down.
because you'll want it.
I've written down Neil Breen. So,
Okay.
do you think we can all of that was great. All of that was wonderful, and I'm sure everyone will love it. Everyone will agree.
Or it'll be extremely overrated.
I've been working on it for 10 years.
What if, and this is just another one of my pitches that I wrote down, what if we just had an entirely different fast food chain back the sequel?
Ooh, what if Burger King is like petty and they decide to fund the sequel because the first one didn't make any money, right?
Rob and me.
But they want to prove that they can make it better, that they can make a sequel that's better than the original. Much
That's
like
tough to do.
Much like Avatar 2 was better than the original. I don't know. I haven't seen.
They
either
just
of
keep
them.
getting better.
Yes, exactly. So this Coca-Cola branded spaceship going to harvest this moon or whatever, and the
Europa, moon of Jupiter.
Did you look
Sure.
that up?
Hmm?
Go ahead.
Don't know.
Can-
You think I can't name a moon of Jupiter off the top of my head?
Can you name another one?
Io.
Anyway, X, go ahead.
So hold on. What is a moon of Saturn? Because the freaking planet at the beginning has a ring on it. It's too thin to be Saturn, but I don't know how many probes NASA is sending out to.
I think it probably is Titan, because Titan is, I think, more of a desert moon. Most of the other ones are mostly just large asteroids.
Titan, yes. So we'll just go with Titan.
It really doesn't matter
it's
because when
canon now.
Coca-Cola, the company, gets there, they're renaming it to Pemberton X in honor of Dr. John S. Pemberton, who invented Coca-Cola.
Yeah?
Okay.
Man, we've got all kinds of trivia here.
Well, this movie was chock full of it. So now,
Yeah.
the spaceship.
Titan has a atmosphere that's denser than Earth, and is the only known object in space other than Earth on which there is clear evidence that stable bodies of liquid exist. What?
All
Okay.
Frequently described as a planet-like moon, Titan is 50% larger in diameter than Earth's moon and 80% more massive, so it actually does have stronger gravity than Earth.
Oh, that's so funny.
It is the second largest moon in the solar system after Ganymede and is larger than Mercury.
Well, Mercury is the smallest planet, so like that's not really anything to brag about.
I think we just figured out where the aliens of Mackenme are from. It's friggin' Titan, largest moon of Saturn.
Yeah, and we can't. I mean, us three can't prove
Right.
that Titan isn't made of Coca-Cola. So, no, I think this is perfect. Okay, so they're headed to Titan, right? Now, when they get to Titan, sure, we'll go with the avatars and the war. They're fighting a war over Coca-Cola as well. I don't know.
I guess we should
Coca-Cola's
figure out who is the war being fought between, because there's Coca-Cola as a player. They're probably allied with at this point in the future. I mean, McDonald's is probably a sovereign nation on Earth, and they sell Coca-Cola products.
It's called Playland.
Playland.
Everyone gets to work through little tubes.
Who's playing Mayor McCheese?
I guess there would
man.
have to be a mayor, huh?
Probably
Woody Harrelson.
Probably President McCheese.
President McCheese.
Oh, President
Woody
McCheese is such a
Harrelson.
scary idea. He has too much power.
He has to be stopped. No, what if the movie is... Screw all that. What if the movie is just about a political assassination plot on President McCheese?
With Coca-Cola and the Max. And how would that work, man? These guys are like the most recognizable people on Earth.
Okay.
They probably wouldn't be great assassins.
If we're completely
that's why they
retconning
need
these
the Avatar
ideas,
body.
I've also written down here a different genre of movie, but it is just featuring the Mac family. Like it's a coming of age story.
Oh, it's completely silent too.
Right, because all they can do is whistle.
All the subtext is through, subtext, right?
Yeah, good. Well put.
Yeah.
Damn, Burger King also serves Coca-Cola products.
Yeah.
This thing goes all the way to the top, boys.
For a second, I thought it was they did Pepsi, but I haven't been to a Burger King in a long time.
Taco Bell does Pepsi products.
What if Coca-Cola now owns the rights? You know, they found out that Titan has, aside from these creatures, oceans of Coca-Cola. So now they just, because of copyright laws and trademarks, they own this planet now, just by default, right? And so McDonald's and Burger
because
King,
of copyright law.
yeah,
Yeah, they Coca-Cola and McDonald's sued the Moon Titan, which, not being able to represent itself in court, lost the rights in an obvious copyright suit.
There was a lot of protests, but they ultimately failed.
But now Burger King wants this exclusive deal with Coca-Cola to be the only restaurant on Titan, and McDonald's has something to say about that, right? Because they're the OGs. They go way back with the Max, with the dance party.
They sure do.
This is a classic resource war on the surface of Titan.
Mm-hmm.
With these poor creatures in the middle of it, yeah.
Yeah, waged from satellites in the upper atmosphere of Titan that will, like, send down soldiers of industry, fast fascists, to. So that was a pun on fast fashion. I should have made a pun on fast casual dining.
Yeah, fast food. It was right there.
Fast commandos. Fast
I'm sure we could figure it out later.
casualties. We'll work on it.
Fascist. Yeah.
And yeah, I cannot remember
What?
Where you
the
were
name
going
of
with
this
this?
little bastard from the movie, Eric.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So yeah, Eric goes up to Titan, drops down onto the surface inside a Mac body, perhaps alongside the now adult Mac himself, who has come to try to act as an ambassador to the now oppressed, dejected, and scattered people native to Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were using straws before to try to get sustenance, and now they just got to use their fingers to dig.
Yeah, they lost the right to straws in a copyright suit.
Yeah, the only thing they had. Yeah, McDonald's.
Yeah, Big Straws got
had a
'em.
copyright on that straw. So.
Damn big straws.
I do
We
like
gotta do something about the straws lobby.
I do like the idea of like these industrial sized drillers being shipped to Titan and like popping down on the ground, finding a good spot to dig, to put a well, or to put one of those, what are those things, those oil things that pump,
Rigs.
Like an oil pump.
yeah,
Yeah, one of those things that pumps oil.
but they're shaped like to-go cups, and the drills are giant straws.
Well,
Anyway.
would they even need drills? Because these guys are sucking
cute
up
as
with
hell,
a
Roger.
straw, like straight
Yeah, but
from
but if you're only having to dig less than a foot under the surface, like, this planet could implode if there's too much mining of the resource.
Yeah. I think
Why?
that's the danger.
Yeah, that's
is
the danger.
That,
That's what they're trying
the
to prevent.
the more Coca-Cola is sucked from the planet and shipped elsewhere, rather than being part of the normal cola cycle, of the planet's environment.
Right.
The more like the structural integrity of Titan is starting to fail, and Awa, I suppose, is dying.
What did you say?
Yeah, what did you just say?
Awa, the god from Avatar that's like the planet.
I hate you so much.
Just a mainstream reference.
I've never seen Avatar. Surprisingly.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You've never seen the
bits
first
and
Avatar
pieces
film?
of it. I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I've never sat through the whole thing. No.
Man, I wish James Cameron hadn't gotten that sequel out.
yeah, it would be
Oh,
ripe
yeah,
for the
yeah.
picking.
Couple
Yeah.
more years, we'd be on that.
Yeah, it would have been about how the Avatar guys come to Earth, get addicted to Coca-Cola, and have a dance party at McDonald's.
Yeah, they'd have been sucked up by a vacuum cleaner. Hey, can we talk about the vacuum cleaners?
Yeah, so we haven't really gotten into the fact that all of the aliens from Mac species have kind of stretchy,
bones.
squishy, Gumby bodies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're all like Stretch Armstrongs, and they literally. I mean, first off, they have literal horns sticking out of their heads.
They do,
it's
so they
just
definitely
not
got
solid.
bones.
Yeah, what's going on there? I mean, the little one gets sucked into a vacuum twice.
Twice, yeah.
It's the little hose, and they also show the hose that they get sucked into at the beginning, and that hole is like the size of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
Quite small.
So
So
I
what
don't know
I'm
what's going
saying
on there.
is, what if Coca-Cola weaponized giant vacuums to eradicate the species?
or at least
that's
imprison
good.
them, right?
Right.
I
Well,
think-
yeah, to
I
imprison them. I shouldn't have said eradicate, but like at least put them into some kind of camp.
I think Coca-Cola and McDonald's. I think McDonald's is kind of their weapons supplier. I think Coca-Cola is the corporation. McDonald's sends the actual troops because they're the ones that are actively at war with Burger King. But they send these like massive two-wheeled constructs. The wheels are like big burger buns.
Yes.
Turned sideways. They send these massive two-wheeled constructs down onto the surface to scour the planet. You know, like the big things from Dune that mine up the spice.
Yeah.
They go down and just suck up all of the aliens so that they can then clear the area of any combatants and then send down their straw ships to come and actually mine the surface of its sweet nectar. I think this is probably where we get the sort of big culmination of the film. As, you know, Eric and Mac have been waging sort of ground level war. Very Dune, really. Very
Yeah.
Dune-esque, Dune 2-esque. They've been waging an insurgents guerrilla ground war against...
Backed by Burger King, who will
Backed by
double
Burger
cross them, right? But
Okay.
they're,
Oh, yes.
they're kind of leading them on to think like, oh, we're getting rid of McDonald's and Coca-Cola and freeing these people. But really, they just want control of the Coca-Cola. Do you
think
think we're
so.
going to get in trouble for saying Coca-Cola so much?
No, a company would never sue someone.
It should hear from. Okay, we'll just put this message at the top. This podcast is not sponsored by Coca-Cola, McDonald's, or its affiliates.
The opinions expressed herein are ours alone and do not reflect nor suggest anything about the ethics and beliefs of the Coca-Cola, McDonald's, or Burger King corporations.
X,
No,
it's
no,
your
we
turn.
are sponsored by Burger King.
Oh yeah, everything we say reflects on Burger King as a corporation. So as we were saying, Burger King, they're kind of traitorous bitches that double cross Eric in maybe an after credit scene, you know, because I think this film is really focused on getting McDonald's off of the planet. So I think everyone at the end, all of the I pulled my little mic up out of its little holster. Hang on. More like Mike and me. I'm really struggling. So
Go! Oh, I'm so upset.
they all gather up to do one big siege on this massive structure. They all like invade and are like fighting and like stabbing the henchmen of the people on board who are trying to defend it. It is this huge war as they make their way up the levels of this structure. Their plan, of course, is to drive the whole vehicle off of a massive crater canyon that's been formed in what was once a subsurface ocean that's been completely drained, where all of these people used to live. It is just like collapsed in as the planet itself is falling apart, and they're planning to like get in and drive this whole thing off the cliff to destroy it. They get up to the top, to the bridge of the thing, where it is being piloted and controlled, and they find the control room completely empty. And there is a single chair at the controls, and it spins around, and we see in the chair Ronald McDonald.
Okay.
Clapping.
All right.
Slowly, played by Paul Rudd.
Oh!
And he says, "Good job, but you won't get any further." And Eric and Mac and Ronald McDonald as himself, or Paul Rudd as Ronald McDonald as himself, engage in a huge, let's just say, knife fight.
Oh, we're going knife fight again.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, millionaire knife fight was our last episode.
Oh, God. That's right. Yeah.
May your cola pop and bubble. They just go at it, and I think Eric gets stabbed. It's Mac and Paul Rudd.
Does he get stabbed right in the spine?
Oh,
probably the lower
yeah.
spine.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And in the last moment, like, Mac turns and like says to Eric, whistles, I don't know, like, you know, go save yourself. This was always my home. And Eric gets beamed up. I don't know. That's part of it. And Mac drives the whole thing, this whole two-wheeled giant vehicle, off the cliff, plummeting down into what little remains of the Coca-Cola ocean below.
So literally just a shot-for-shot reinterpretation of the scene where he falls off the cliff in the original movie.
Yes.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
And then Eric, who has been beamed out of the thing, you see him pop up into frame as the whole machine sinks into the ocean, and Ronald McDonald is dead, and the planet, for the time being, is freed of its tyrants.
Until they come back. Well,
Until...
they're free of McDonald's at least, but Coca-Cola is on its way, and little do they know, so is Burger King. To do what they really wanted to do.
King.
Yeah, the clown is dead. Long live the king.
The clown is dead.
The jester.
Oh, that's the after credit scene. You see the Burger King like
mascot,
sort of Thanos style, turn around and say, "The clown is dead. Long live the king."
Well,
so
I guess we did it. Unless you wanted to add something else, Roger.
I only have a few more ideas, and it is because it's who I am. It is names.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. This is all going to be really funny if you know the bit about Paul Rudd and on Conan O'Brien with the clip.
If people don't know, it's going to be an issue.
If you don't know, why'd you click an episode about Mac and me? Anyway. What do we call this thing?
So there's a few obvious answers. Like Mac and us, like you said, but us is separated with periods, so it's Mac and US. But like that kind of fell off.
Ooh. Fell off like a wheelchair off a cliff.
Yeah. Let's see. There's also two Mac, two me.
Okay.
Stupid.
There's you could do the aliens route and call it Max and me, but there's Mac and me, the Reckoning.
Yo.
And Mac Attack, which I feel is kind of a wash.
It could be Mac and me decarbonated.
Decarbonated's pretty good. X, do you have any ideas?
Hold on one second. I had something written down. Man. No, I don't think I have anything. I wanted to come up with a pun based on like McDonald's, kind of like Big Mac, McDouble, McChicken, or something along those
McMac and me.
lines.
I mean, but hold on. MacDouble would work because it's the sequel.
Oh.
MacDouble and me.
Oh, and that works too because Eric is embodying
a
an
Mac.
avatar
Yeah.
body from Mac's species.
I like MacDouble and me.
MacDouble and me is pretty
MacDouble.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we just need to, I think if we get in touch with Paul Rudd, I think he would make this happen.
I do need to know who is playing older Eric. We could cast the same kid, honestly.
Yeah, is that actor still alive?
That's a good question. I hope not. I mean, I hope he is. I
Wouldn't
hope
be
he
in
is
a lot
alive.
of the movie.
Jesus.
Whoa!
Rob.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Roger.
I thought you said the opposite.
What do you have against the handicap?
I have nothing against the handicap.
Jeez, Roger. At first you were calling the disabled disgusting. Now
The only thing I have against them is the upper hand. I don't know if we should keep that in the episode.
Whoa!
Probably not. As far as IMDb knows,
so funny.
Jade Caligari is still alive. So
Oh, good.
Worst thing you could say.
he is like in his 50s, or no, he's almost 50. He's like 49 at this point. So how long has it been? How long does it take to get to Titan?
I mean, mostly it's gonna be it doesn't take any time to get to Titan X.
Oh yeah, it only takes about 2
They
days,
have-
huh? Yeah.
They have extra freaking like
Just super
hyper
fast.
light drives
Yeah.
in this universe.
Okay, so unless we want do a period piece kind of mid 90s, we're on Titan terraforming for Coca-Cola, or we can do it took them a few decades to plan this out and kind of get things rolling. We can keep the same actor. Otherwise, what other wheelchair bound movie stars do we know?
Huh.
Let's see. Actors
Say
with
Stephen Hawking.
spina not quite. There's Reen Kirby, David Proud, Blaine Harrison. Not a ton. Aaron
Not a ton.
Fotheringham. Fotheringham?
I don't recognize any of those names.
No.
We're pinpointing
I hate to say it.
a real problem with Hollywood, I think.
I would
that
say
no one's
so.
ever talked about before.
Who's the kid from oh my god, what's that show called? Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard.
Oh, are you thinking of the Canadian show?
Glee. No, the kid from Glee. There's a wheelchair kid in Glee.
I had a really funny joke there, but it's
Let's see. Let me look him up.
Kevin McHale? Kevin McHale. Look at Kevin McHale.
Sure.
We'll have Kevin McHale in it.
is
Because
Kevin
he
McHale
is-
paralyzed?
You know what? He might not be. He might just be playing someone in a wheelchair.
I mean, just for appropriation, we could paralyze him first.
All right. Well, we're not keeping that joke. Let's see. He was a member of Body
I don't think he's
Unlike character in
paralyzed.
Glee, Kevin does not use. No, he is not. Son of a bitch.
This guy's a
Messed
liar.
up. We'll kill him.
I guess we will keep the paralyzing joke in.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, because it's funny now.
Because he deserves
Yeah.
it.
Christ.
Very good.
Ugh.
Is that it? Do you think we've done it?
Yeah, we did it.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. We're keeping the original actor. He's just
Yeah.
old now.
Because
That's fine.
he's not going to be in it a lot because he's going to end up in an avatar.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a
body.
CGI because the Macs are gonna be CGI this time.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh, and we'll do that thing where we put a bunch of dots on his face, and that we use that mocap to move the CGI Mac avatar he's got.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to lose his performance.
Let's not.
oh my god, his
let's not rag on this
stellar
kid's acting.
performance. You know what? I did see somewhere though that said that they needed somebody in a wheelchair, and so they, kudos to them. They got an actual person in a wheelchair.
Right.
Yeah,
They
it's
said it
actually
was-
great.
They said it was because of his charisma, and let me tell you,
Huh.
there wasn't a whole lot of that on screen.
Doesn't read super well. The scenes where it was Eric and Debbie talking, I was pulling my teeth out.
Okay, so like I said, I watched this at 1.5 speed, so he was going faster, and his dialogue still felt so slow. I can't imagine what it was like normal.
No,
speed.
it's pretty unbearable. Well, dear listeners, let's hope that this is the sequel that will grant us our freedom from this mystery basement. But if that doesn't happen,
Help us, Paul Rudd.
then you can expect
Save us.
yet another episode 2 weeks from this moment.
It's entirely possible.
If you know Paul Rudd, please send him.
Yeah,
this,
get him
If you could
episode,
just send him the podcast.
and he can play the clip for us, and we'll make this work.
Yeah.
Paul,
Or
just
just
give us
save
a chance.
Paul. You don't even
Yeah.
have to make the movie. Just come save us.
Save us, Paul.
Just unlock
Save
the
us,
door.
Paul Rudd.
We're
we'll write.
starving. We need Coca-Cola or we'll die.
I don't know
I'm
how.
dying, Paul.
All right. Anyways, we'll catch you guys next time on Sequel Factory
Please, Paul.
for part 2.
The sequel.
There it is. Continued.
Bye.
This got out of hand so hard.
I want to do cats. I've decided it's cats. Can we should do cats. I think we can do cats. I enjoy Cats as a show. I haven't watched the movie version. No. I think a catnado is the mechanism by which chosen cats are taken to the Heaviside Layer. Just a little reference to the musical Cats. The Jellicle cats hold a competition to decide which cat gets to ascend to the Heaviside Layer. The plot of Cats. That's what Cats is about. Oh. Woo. Woo. Really freaking fun episode, guys.